Some people take their weddings a bit too seriously, and sometimes all that frustration comes out in the wedding toast itself. Now, some may say that OP went a bit too far today, but I want to know what you guys think. G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Arsehole. Now if you love today's bloody spicy post, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn of the Barbie, smash like on the video, and enjoy the bloody good content. Let's go. Am I the arsehole telling the truth in the wedding toast? So I'm a 30-year-old male, and my best friend got married last week. I just bought a house and my wife is expecting our son in November, so I let him know that I was limited in what I could contribute financially. But I did tell him that I would try my best. So, I went to the bachelor party in Maine, I rented the tux, and I paid for mine and my wife's dinner at the rehearsal dinner. I also had a gift of $300 that I was going to give them, but we will get to why I didn't give it to them. His now wife, then fiancé, texted me multiple times a day with updates. Fine. I didn't always respond, and it got to the point where if I didn't respond at least once a day, I'd get a call from my buddy. I had a full-time job and am redoing some rooms in my house, so I'm busy. She texted me for the following reasons. 1. My wife was not allowed to talk about our pregnancy at all. She didn't want anyone to focus on that more than her, the bride. 2. She was not going to order special food for my wife. No one asked her to. My wife was fine with whatever she was going to be served. 3. I was not helping the groom enough. He had to help her with favors, seating charts and programs, so I had to help him with those things according to her. She also said to get ready to help with thank you notes after the wedding. 4. She said if I was a true best man, I would offer to pay for the bar bill. I don't even know what that means. 5. She had to read and approve my speech before the rehearsal dinner, and wanted to be included as much as my buddy. She told me to make things up if I had to. I was also not allowed to include anyone but the two of them, and no inside jokes or stories about my buddy that didn't include her. And 6, her last text said to tell my wife to keep it together and not make a pregnancy scene during the wedding. Also, she wanted her to choose a dress that downplayed her pregnancy as much as possible. I was just so aggravated. I spoke to my friend to see if he could reason with her, and he told me to just play ball on this one. It's her day and to cut him a break, because he'd be dealing with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I was annoyed, but I calmed down. The day of the wedding, all the bride and my buddy does is scold me, berate me, and bark orders. I head down to the bar for a drink, and the bride's mother is there and warns me not to get drunk because I've ruined her daughter's day enough, which was the final straw. I didn't give them the card with the cash, and in the speech, I used my friend's exact wording about having to deal with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I wished them the best, and I told him I'd always be there for him, especially during the divorce. Am I the arsehole? That one right there was a violation. I personally don't condone those actions. I can see why you did it, but I personally say that was a dick move for speaking your mind and speaking your truth at a speech that you didn't need to speak your mind and truth at, especially after you've been attacked by these two beforehand. I wouldn't blame them for completely cutting you out of their life. I feel like you should expect that one to come towards you, and I also think they were dicks for the way they treated you and with those 6 rules that they laid down before. Personally, everyone sucks here in this situation. That's very wild. I can't believe you did that. Claps for you, I guess. Everyone sucks here. Now in the comments, everyone sucks here, and here's why. 1. The groom knew he was marrying a piece of work, and instead of protecting his interests, he co-signed, aided, and abetted his wife's atrocious behavior. 2. His wife sucks for trying to regulate your wife's body, for allowing her insecurities to cloud her judgments, and being the very definition of a bridezilla. And 3. You for not taking the high road and waiting until the very last minute to defend your wife's honor. Look, dude. You were totally justified, but you also had ample opportunity to jump off the crazy train before it got this far. Being a good friend means having the comfortability and latitude to say no when your friends are off the rails. You waited until the last minute, and you let your emotions get the better of you. Your wife deserves better from these people and from you in this moment. P.S. Get new friends. These people suck hardcore. Lots of Cash says, everyone sucks here, but applauding OP quietly so not to draw attention to the fact that I'm pregnant. I don't want to ruin his post. Not very cool of you to be pregnant during this post. I like that you didn't even think of OP's post when you decided to become pregnant. Seriously, the audacity. I think you're missing a piece here. From what I gather, the dude was trying to go along with all of this unbelievable bullcrap because he was trying to be a supportive friend. Then he reached that point of, okay, you know what? Screw this actually. We've all reached that point somewhere in our lives and made asses of ourselves. But this guy was 100% justified in burning his friendship to the ground by the point of the toast. And he salted the frickin' earth in the process. I'm sorry, but I gotta respect that. Yes, he reached that point, but what he did impacted everyone else that was present. He wasn't just being petty to the bride and groom, he was being an asshole and making a scene that impacts everyone present. Everyone sucks here. But you know that everyone there knew how the bride was acting, because I guarantee that she wasn't just treating him that way. No way. No, you don't. At my wedding, we had plenty of friends and family that had no involvement in the planning. Even grandparents aren't that involved. They show up for a nice wedding, and some drunk groomsman makes a scene and upsets the bride and groom. Everyone sucks here, but listen. You're my hero. Also be aware that your friendship might be over, if not for any other reason than the way the new wifey will make it so. His buddy's wife was never going to let him have friends that she didn't pick and approve of anyhow. That's what I feel like. If the groom's view is, I now have to put up with this bullcrap for the rest of my life, and he let his friends get treated like crap and won't stand up to his wife, his social life is dead. It's going to be kids, couple activities with vetoed acquaintances, and spending weekends at the in-laws. He may get one night a month to see his buddies, but not at their house since she hates them all. He lost his friend the moment this dude proposed. From the title alone, I was prepared to think you were the asshole. Through the bridezilla bits, I was thinking, yikes, they're the asshole, and by the time I got to the end, I was a firm everyone sucks here. I don't blame you for not giving the card. They treated you horribly and did not deserve the generous gift you were prepared to give. But I think being honest in the speech took it too far. You would have been better off just cutting it super short. Words can't even describe these two, so let's raise a glass. The end. I don't think your speech was too much because of how it impacted them, but because of their families. Maybe their families suck as much as them. They had to get their ridiculous entitlement somewhere. But I'd be horrified to witness a best man speech like you described if I were a guest at a wedding. Our next post is by user AffectionateCry5126, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my dad and his wife their marriage wasn't a deal my siblings and I signed up for? My dad married his wife 5 years ago. I, 16 female, was 11, my brother was 14, and my sister was 15. His wife had an 8 and 6-year-old at the time, who were now 11 and 13. The marriage was tough on my siblings and me. Our dad's wife came in day one of living together, and made things much more strict, with our dad's backup obviously. But she was always on us, always picking apart the stuff we did. We'd always had the chores, but usually my brother and I woke up early and did ours before school, while my sister did hers in the hour that she was home without anyone else. That was stopped, and we were told all kids had to do chores together so the big kids could help the little ones. My sister said it wasn't our job to help her kids. Dad's wife said they were our siblings now, which my sister and brother loudly declared they were not, and it became a fight. We went from being able to eat with our friends after school or at friends' houses to needing to be home for family dinners. We complained to our dad, but he said that it was important to his wife that we all come together. Stuff like that was common, and she and my brother and sister fought a lot because they did not treat her kids even close to how they treated me, and it bothered her. With me, it was less of a fight because I was the baby of our sibling group, and I think she thought that I would eventually take the role over. When I didn't, and my siblings made no effort to be her kids' big siblings, she and my dad dragged me to family therapy, and we have been going for a while now. What sparked the interest in therapy was my sister ended up moving into a place, and she had a room just for me there and another just for my brother, and no special space for our step-siblings. So anyway, therapy has been going on for months now, and it's basically been a lot of my dad and his wife talking and asking why I don't call her stepmom or her kids siblings, and then the therapist finally decided to take control recently and start going into more stuff. And he asked why it bothered them so much that we weren't super close, and my dad's wife said her kids came as a part of the package deal and we all knew the deal when they got married. I jumped in and said my siblings and I never signed up for their marriage, that we were part of no deal and it's not fair to hold us to any deal made because we didn't make it. My dad blew up at me in the session and the therapist was trying to defuse the situation. The last 4 sessions, my dad and his wife have dominated the sessions over what I'd said. They also put me under house arrest for being rude and selfish with saying what I did. It pisses me off, but part of me wonders if I was wrong to say it. Am I the asshole? I think you were just being manipulated by your dad and his new partner, and your dad does not want to support you at all. I think it's very clear through his words and his actions. He only cares about pleasing her and keeping the peace with her. And she's wanting to dominate, she's wanting to get her way, she will do anything and harm you guys to get that way. There's no point in negotiating with terrorists because it's not going to get you anywhere. So I'm going to give you a pass for that. I'm going to say not the asshole. Now in the comments, not the asshole. Tell the therapist that you've been grounded for sharing your feelings in a therapy session. And OP replies, I don't think there's much he can do at this point. He basically is just another body in the room during these sessions when my dad and his wife dominate. It's literally his job to handle this. Could you just contact him outside of the sessions, or do you feel unsafe doing that? Also, are her kids there, or just you? And OP replies, just me. It's his job, but yeah, I could call. Your parents are being dishonest about the therapy. They wanted to fix you instead of learning what is going wrong with the family dynamic. Tell the therapist you're being punished for things you say in therapy. I hate when I see parents using family therapy as a tool to get their child to do what they want. That isn't what therapy is for. Therapy isn't for manipulating your child into accepting circumstances they never agreed to. It is for exploring your relationships and attempting to make the family dynamic healthier and more open and honest. I was lucky enough to have a wonderful stepfather that I loved long after he and my mum divorced. But he was not entitled to that love or relationship. He earned it. Not the asshole. Move in with your sister if you can. They will never change. They are literally forcing you to therapy to fix the mess they made. They will always blame you guys. If I were OP, I'd do it. I'd call the police on emergency and speak with an officer and say, I'm 16 and moving in with my sister. My dad might throw a fit, and I know legally you guys can't do anything since it's a civil matter. I just wanted to get an idea what would happen if he does call you guys so I can be prepared. The few times I've had to preemptively call, they've even given me a way to teach the notes for calls so I could tell the officer to check the notes, and then evening always goes my way. If OP is in the US and had a certain accent, a black accent or an accent from Africa, then they should first do research on whether the police have a record of brutality in that area. If that's the case, then OP should have a friend call and ask these questions, so OP isn't lied to by a racist officer in order to cause more trouble in OP's family. And Miss Chick says, not the asshole. To hold you in contempt for what you said during therapy, where you're supposed to feel safe and heard, is disgusting parenting. You were absolutely right. You guys didn't sign up for this package deal. And for them to hold you accountable for their choices is messed up. I hope that the therapist gains control of the sessions, and feel free to tell them that you're being punished at home for what's said in sessions. Our next post is by user Darth Zenic, titled, Am I the asshole for suggesting that my wife doesn't wear certain leggings out? Backstory. We live in a low-income area, and there are lots of skeevy dudes that hang out in the neighborhood by the liquor store and by the bus stop. My wife, 26 years old, works from home and likes to go for a daily walk to the convenience store a few blocks away for coffee and breakfast. She's always telling me how local guys give her lewd looks, and sometimes make creepy comments while she's out walking. Yesterday, she called me from the convenience store and asked that I pick her up as there was a creep driving slowly by her while staring. I work from home, so I didn't have an issue taking the 2-minute drive to get her. She asks me to do this roughly once a week. When she gets into the car, she tells me about the lewd looks that she gets, and I suggested that she not wear her TikTok leggings out in our neighborhood due to the rude guys that are always out. For those unaware, the TikTok leggings are the butt scrunch leggings designed to really show off one's butt by scrunching up in the back and going right up under the butt crack. She almost instantly says that it's a misogynistic thing to say and that she should be able to wear whatever she likes. I agree with her that she should be able to wear whatever she likes, but by wearing them, she's attracting unwanted attention. I tell her that the guys are pigs and that they are assholes for making her feel this way. She tells me that she'd get hit on regardless of what she was wearing, so she might as well be comfortable. Anyways, it turned into an argument about how I was saying misogynistic things and how she was trying to educate me about how I sounded. I felt hurt because I felt as though my suggestion was meant to prevent her from feeling creeped out by the guys around us. Granted, I never said anything to the effect of me not allowing her to do it. I was genuinely trying to suggest an alternative to what she was wearing so that maybe she would garner less attention. She said that my opinion on the matter was not wanted and that I would never know what it was like to be a woman. Am I the asshole here? Now in the comments, Terra says, "You're the asshole because she is right. It does not matter what she wears. Women get catcalled and stared at and creeped on when they wear sweatpants and a t-shirt, when they wear a skirt and heels, when they wear jeans and sneakers, etc. The leggings don't matter. I'm so sick of people victim blaming and saying she shouldn't have worn that. For frick's sake, Muslim women who follow tradition face the same problem, and they're covered head to toe." I see a lot of comments saying that you're right, but those people clearly either are not women or have been lucky enough to avoid creeps. You can wear anything in the world and a creep will still creep on you. I got leered at as a 10-year-old. Creeps will creep no matter what. Some of the creepiest crap has happened when I look the worst. Like, really, dude? I'm wearing my gross gym clothes and my hair is stuck to the side of my face with sweat. What that thing do? It goes home and takes a shower. I can't believe people are giving OP some benefit of the doubt. He's a grown man. He should know what women go through by now. I think people who really think outfits are a big driver of this kind of behavior are just a dangerous mix of fixes and people unable to relate to how other people think. OP is obviously attracted to his wife, and I'm sure he thinks she looks hot in that outfit, so from his thought process, he's probably thinking, fix the problem by not looking so hot. Men who do crap like this don't think like OP. You're the asshole. If she was literally wearing a Snuggie, she'd be getting the same reactions from those guys. It's not the leggings. I think it's sweet. Is that even the right word? That OP thinks leggings or not will make the difference, but only in an "aw, shoulder pat" kind of way. There are so many people, especially women in this comment section, sharing stories about being harassed since they were literal children. And the sad reality is that a lot of men just don't understand what it's like to experience that. I really hope OP takes this opportunity to educate himself on the reality of being a woman today. It doesn't have to be from his wife either, if she's not interested in talking about it. The internet is filled with research and statistics and personal accounts. There's no excuse to remain blind to the fact of the matter. And OP gives us a little update down in the comments. First of all, thank you all for sharing your stories. I've read each and every comment and I've put a lot of thought in this. To be perfectly honest, I'm surprised with the through line within most of the history in these posts. It is evident that there is a clear history of systemic misogyny in our culture, and I understand how I play a part of it. I see now that my comment was unnecessary and timed awfully. My wife was afraid, and I should have given her more support than I did at the time. I had a conversation with my wife tonight, and I apologized to her for my comments and my behavior. I did show her this post, and she spent some time reading the comments. She agreed that a non-biased third party, thank you all, was a good way to help me learn. I can be fairly stubborn, and these comments were eye-opening. I want to thank everyone for being so passionate about this. I love my wife a ton and want to be a good partner to her, and I will take the advice that you've shared with me and work on being a better ally, a better husband, and a better human. Am I the asshole for bringing my own food to my mother-in-law's house? So my mother-in-law hosted a barbecue at her house last weekend. I have several serious food intolerances, as well as food allergies, so I have to be very careful when I'm eating food that I've not prepared or if I do not know what is in it. My mother-in-law is very aware of my food allergies and intolerances: lactose intolerant, egg allergy, shellfish allergy, strawberry allergy, and has been for the past 22 years that we've been married. My mother-in-law is one of those people who believes that you eat what is served or you do not eat, and that food allergies is something that people make up in their heads. I asked her what she was serving at the barbecue to see if there would 1. Be anything I could eat, and 2. If I needed to be concerned about anything she was serving. Most of everything that she was planning to serve contained something that I could not eat. This is not the first time that she has served food that I was unable to eat. At Thanksgiving 2 years ago, the only thing I could eat were the dinner rolls and the salad. She got super offended that I did not eat and called me overdramatic. If I eat before I go and do not eat anything, she guilt trips me and tries to get me to eat. So this time, I discussed with my spouse the possibility of me bringing my own food to my mother-in-law's house. They agreed with me that it was a good idea, but warned me not to let mother-in-law see it. I brought 2 small containers to the barbecue in a cooler bag and put it under my chair. When it was time to eat, I quietly served myself from the containers and put my plate on the table. When my mother-in-law saw that I was eating food that was different than everyone else, she immediately got upset and told me how rude I was to bring food. I explained to her that nothing she was serving was food that I could safely eat, and she went on about how I always have to make myself the center of attention. My spouse told mother-in-law that she has known for almost 2 decades that I had food allergies, so it should not shock her that after years of being unable to eat at family gatherings, I would bring my own food. Father-in-law then got up and told us both we were being rude and disrespectful to mother-in-law, as she had spent tons of money and time preparing for this barbecue. Spouse grabbed our things and we left after a few more choice words with their parents. Our phones have been blowing up non-stop, some people agreeing that mother-in-law was overreacting. Others think I should have eaten what I could out of politeness or eaten before I came. I'm really torn and upset. I did not mean to cause drama, and I'm hurt that spouse is arguing with their parents. I did not mean to offend mother-in-law, and certainly not ruin a barbecue. Am I the asshole for bringing my own food to mother-in-law's barbecue? This is just a ridiculous situation, and at this point, I think your mother-in-law is just doing this out of spite for you. It seems plainly obvious to me that it's purely out of spite and nothing else. So I'd say morally in this situation, you're in the right for bringing your own food, even if it was, a little rude to be eating something different. She knows you can't eat it and she doesn't provide for you. Therefore, you bring your own so you can still be included, and I think that puts you morally in the right for this situation. So I'm going to say not the asshole. Now in the comments, Effective Put 7604 says, not the asshole. There's no winning here. Your mother-in-law knows she can make you seriously sick with the food she serves and has known for 2 decades. She complains when you eat before you come. She complains when you only eat what's there that you can eat, and she complains when you bring your own food. And I'm sure she'll absolutely make a martyr of herself if you opt not to turn up at these family events. You've got a good spouse there. It seems like well past time for a long talk about just how much contact y'all should have, individually and collectively, with your in-laws. In no universe is the spouse good. Yes, they backed OP up, but they should have shut their mother's behavior down like 20 years ago. They have quietly been allowing this to go on for 2 decades. Their mother putting their spouse's health in danger. Spouse is hardcore the asshole. They're an asshole dressed in sheep's clothing. Vampire Bear says, not the asshole. She would have been offended no matter what. If she invites you and has known about your allergies, she needs to provide something you can eat or shut the hell up when you don't eat or bring something that you can eat. It's not hard to be a considerate host, she's just doing it on purpose. Agreed. The other options the people are suggesting OP did try, and she still complained. She is in a no-win situation here. Just stop going, OP. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Friendly reminder that I'm now posting daily on my second channel, Markee 2. If you want to laugh at memes with me, link is down in the description below. On phone, you just click that little arrow underneath the video. I also want to say thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your names are currently floating down the screen here, and I love to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you see yourself on screen, I want you to give yourself a big pat on the back for being amazing as always, and thank you for supporting me again. I do hope that you guys have a good day, night, sleep, whatever it is you're up to. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.